Time for more bad predictions. Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. It's just too sweet. Anyway, I finally get to give you an Eastern Conference semifinals predictions video as the first of two Game 7s that we have in these quarterfinals this year. Just ended about an hour or so ago, and it's given me some time to think about my predictions for the semifinals. But before I do that, I'd at least like to go over my predictions from the quarterfinals, give my thoughts on that, and then, as I usually do, I'll give you my predictions. So, let's go. So this is what our bracket in the East looked like going in. Now, if you remember my predictions, and I have them sitting right beside me, the Tampa-Florida series was the only one I got wrong. I picked Tampa to win it in 7. Florida ended up winning it in 5. But as far as my bad predictions goes, I went 3 for 4 in the Eastern Conference. And I called 2 of them, as far as games played, right. That being the Rangers and the Capitals, and the Bruins and the Maple Leafs. But the latter is very predictable. Let's get into my thoughts on this one anyways. Now this is what a Battle of Florida should look like. And I mean, outside game 1 and 2, which were decided by 1 goal, it was a goal fest all the way through. And, between me and you, Bobrovsky is an amazing goalie. Just saying, if the Panthers make it to the Cup final again, it'll be because goalie Bob's playing off of the top of his head, like he does come playoff time. Well, wouldn't you know, old habits do truly die hard. Toronto didn't make it out of the first round again. It's funny because last year had so much potential, they actually made it past the first round. But in the last 5 years, that's the only series win they've had. So what changes in Toronto? Either way, I mean, the non-Maple Leafs fan in me is just laughing this one up. But that's just me. Good run, but, I mean, really, outside Nylander and Marner after he was done getting upset, surprised it went 7, to be perfectly honest. Even though I'm quite stoked I called this one in terms of games played, I'm surprised it went 7. Now, as for this one, I'm happy we got to the playoffs. I really am. But Washington looked like a deer in the headlights. Really. I mean, there was no effort there at all. I think they were just happy to be in the playoffs. New York ran over them. It would have took them a lot more effort than what they showed to actually win a game, much less be outdone in every possible category by the Rangers. But them's the breaks, kid. Poor Varley. Poor Varley. Played all but 1 game, and the Islanders were out in 5. I honestly thought it would have went 6, but at the same time, I also thought Sorokin was starting. But Carolina proved why they're ready to play a team like the Rangers. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking about that now. I think I should get into the predictions. So Florida, Boston. And I'm totally anticipating that this is probably the point where my predictions start going completely to lunch. But that's a different topic for a different day. Let's talk about the Bruins and the Panthers. Now, I'm totally expecting this one to be a fun series in terms of physicality and goals, on top of, possible amazing plays at the same time. But I think ultimately, despite your Barkovs and, your Marchands and your Pasternaks, your Kachucks and Reinhardts, it's really going to come down to goaltending. And, I mean, statistically, going into this, Swayman's the better goalie at 1.49 goals against to Bobrovsky's 2.18. But at the same time, Bobrovsky and the Panthers were playing Tampa. Boston hasn't really been scoring the big goals, have they? Other than, this series clinchers. But as tired as Boston might be coming off a 7-game swing from Toronto, I think the momentum is going to keep going. I think they're going to win it in 6. Florida is always a good run and a fun team to watch when they're competitive like they are now. But I think Boston almost has something to prove, at least by the sounds of it. Either way, like I said, I do expect my predictions to go to lunch. So let's keep our eyes on this one. And then we got the Rangers and the Hurricanes. Now, obviously, the biggest storyline going into this is the 2006 Stanley Cup. You got the head coach of the Rangers, who coached Carolina to the 2006 Stanley Cup, and then you got the head coach of the Hurricanes, who captained that same team. And now they're playing off against one another for a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Final. Not that that's going to drive everything. I mean, ultimately, it was going to drive this series as goals, and lots of them, and who can score the most. Carolina can score. The Rangers can score. Carolina can play the body. The Rangers can play the body. Carolina can play the net. The Rangers can play the net. Who can shut down who? And how better? How much better can they do? Because either way, this is going to be a very tight series, a very long series. I'm predicting it to go all the way to 7. Going to have a lot of game 7s, if I call everything right. But I'm also picking the Rangers to win. I mean, as good as Carolina might be with Jarvis and Svechnikov and Nichas and Kuznetsov catching fire at the right time. Go figure, right? Zibanejad's waking up. Trocheck is on fire. Lafreniere is finally standing up and pulling a game out. And then you got Panarin. Panarin's always a threat. The Rangers are on a tear, and I'm not sure I see them stopping anytime soon. But again, this is where my predictions start going bad. So time will tell on this one. But feel free to give me your predictions. I'd love to hear it. I mean, let me know if you think my picks are completely out there. Let me know if you think my picks are legit. Either way, feel free to give your input. Let me know who you think's walking out of either series as the winner. Either way, we're in for some great matches. Says no one Chess Hockey Shows. Well, thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you've made it to this part. And if you've made it this far, hey, feel free to give me that thumbs up. I think I've earned it. If you want to, if you're considering it and you haven't done it yet, hey, we're on a march to 500. Let's hit 500 subscribers, hopefully by the end of the year. Feel free to hit that red button. It'll make you feel good. It'll make me feel good. That's for damn sure. But I'd appreciate it either way. So, I have a Western Conference predictions coming out tomorrow as soon as Game 7's over there. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, be looking for more videos from Trev. Later.